Yeah, so we're excited to be back in the NCAA tournament as a two seed. Obviously, didn't play our best game last night, so we'll try to get the guys back going. We did and played our best game last year against Florida, though, in the SEC tournament and bounced back, went on a four-game winning streak to make a Final Four. So I've got confidence we can bounce back. We're hoping to get Grant back. He's going to see the knee specialist tomorrow morning and get a better idea of time frame on getting him back, but he is walking today, so just swollen, but you know, hopefully he'll be back by the first round. Um, what do I know about Robert Morris? I played him when I was head coach at Buffalo. They had the same coach, Coach Toole. He's done a really good job there. They've moved from the NEC to the Horizon. The Horizon's kind of back in that area, Detroit, Midwest area where I'm from. And shoot, they're on a 10-game winning streak. They've got the player of the year in that conference. They got the defensive player of the year, and they're good. I think our guys, we will make them understand how good of a team Robert Morris is by the time we play them. There's been 15 over twos throughout the course of the tournament. There's been 16 over ones a couple times now, so you can't afford to overlook anybody. I just explained to these guys after the selection show, it revealed the bracket that we're in a four-team tournament right now. That's all we care about. And really, all I need those guys focused on is Robert Morris to start, and then we will, as a staff, get ready for Vanderbilt and St. Mary's. But and they sent us to Cleveland, which is fine. It's a short flight. Got a lot of people in Cleveland from my MAC days. Personally, I've had a little bit of success in that arena in the postseason in the MAC tournaments, but Cleveland's a good city. Enjoyed my time in Cleveland during the MAC, and we just got to go up, take care of two games, get our guys locked in, get healthy, get our legs fresh, and kind of take it from there after we if we're fortunate enough to win these two games this weekend.
Charlie.
Yeah, Coach, I know Nick asked about the guard play last night after the game, but with Mark specifically, I think he's 4 of his last 26 from 3 in the last 4 games. Just how do you get him out of this kind of recent shooting slump heading into the tournament?
Yeah, you know what? We'll be back here in our home gym. I'm sure he'll get shots up. He's a guy that needs to be in the gym, getting his confidence up. So that'll be a big factor, just being able to get in the gym. But the second thing, and we got to get through to him and stress to him, was when you're as skilled as he is, and he's one of the most skilled kids I've ever coached. I mean, he's in the gym all the time. He's a gym rat. He, it's not like he's lost his shot. When you're as skilled as he is, and you just lose yourself in the game, playing the right way on the defensive end, giving really good effort on the defensive end, playing the right way on the offensive end, the shooting will take care of itself. And to me, it's also an opportunity for Mark to prove he impacts the game on more than just shooting. How much can you impact the game? Can we win when you're not shooting it particularly well? And if you look at these last 4 games when he hasn't maybe shot the ball particularly well, we do have 2 pretty good wins. I mean, we beat Auburn at their place, which is not easy, and he hit the game winner. And we beat Kentucky by the biggest margin they've ever lost in the SEC tournament. So he's got to understand that, yeah, he's a scorer and he's elite at it, one of the best that's ever done it here at Alabama. But he's more than just a scorer. I thought he made. I just went back and watched the game on our bus ride here from Nashville. I thought he made a lot of really good reads, and we just missed some shots. Like he didn't, end up with a high assist game last game, but we missed open shots. Some of his teammates, he was making good reads. Well, he's a great defender when he wants to be. He can make the right reads. He can run a team. He can be a lot more than just a scorer to impact winning, and he needs to realize that. And I think if he just buys all into that, the scoring and the shooting will take care of itself with the amount of time he's going to be able to get in the gym now that we're back home.
Nick Kelly.
Yeah, Nate, I wanted to ask you, it's almost been a decade since you coached your first team as a head coach at Buffalo in the NCAA tournament. How would you say you're the same or different than that Nate Oates, who was coaching his first tournament as a head coach?
Yeah, yeah, this is my 10th year, isn't it? So, yeah, it was, I guess that'd be 9 years ago. So, uh, shoot, back then I was just happy to be in the NCAA tournament. Shoot, I was a high school coach, 3 years before that. I was fortunate to be the head coach of Division One team. I was enjoying the moment being in the NCAA tournament as a head coach. I believe we had Miami that first year out in Providence, if I remember correctly, and we actually played them fairly tough for a while. Ended up losing. They were really good that year. Uh, and then, we were able to win a couple NCAA tournament games in years 3 and 4 at Buffalo. But, I've obviously grown a lot as a head coach. I'm a much better coach in a lot of different ways, in my opinion. Hopefully, 10 years from now, I'll be a lot better coach then than I am now. I just keep growing and getting better. But the biggest difference is I'm not just happy to be in the NCAA tournament right now. We need to make a run. Like getting in the tournament's not good enough. Uh, Anything short of a Final Four would be a disappointment, in my opinion. That's what the expectation is. I know we're a 2 seed, so Elite Eight's supposed to be where it ends. And if we don't play well, play a lot better than we did in the second half yesterday, we won't even make it that far. But we're more than capable of making it back to a Final Four and winning games in the Final Four. So expectation levels are a little bit different than they were 9 years ago. Still fortunate to be coaching at the Division One level, but personally, I've got higher expectations, and the program here has higher expectations.
Yeah. Yeah, Nate, a couple of the guys from last year's team talked in the locker room about the meeting you guys had after the selection show last year. What do you remember telling them about that, and how is maybe some of that advice, or I guess, goals from that meeting kind of translated to this year's team as well?
You know what? So last year we had another day to prepare for that meeting. We got bounced on Friday, I believe, in the SEC tournament. First round for sure. That was Friday, right? Yeah. So we got back Saturday and a long kind of meeting. Saturday, Sunday to get ready for the selection show, and we had kind of like a presentation ready for the guys, kind of on some different teams that had finished the regular season poorly. They got bounced in the first round of their conference tournament and still made a Final Four run. I talked to Frank Martin. I talked to Coach Boeheim. He had done it twice at Syracuse, where they didn't finish great and still went on a Final Four run. So I kind of got input from them, and then we had the guys, and we basically just scrapped, no cleanup from the Florida game, just didn't even really discuss it, move on. I think this year's a little different. Uh, we didn't have the full day. We just arrived back on campus about 4:30, had something to eat quick, had the selection show, get kind of talk to them real quick about just my 2 cents on what I had after watching the game. And, kind of forgot, we were up 1, 48-47, if I remember right, with about 18 minutes to go in that game. And we kind of fell apart. And I just kind of referenced who we had said we were going to be. And we didn't say we were going to be that only when things were going well. And you know what? The beginning of the second half, we gave up too many old boards the first possession. That was a little disappointing, but we actually had some decent defensive possessions where they just hit tough shots. Well, and we had some good offensive possessions where we moved the ball around and were really unselfish and got great shots and missed them. So they're hitting some tough shots. We're missing some open shots. Things aren't going our way. Are we tough enough mentally to stay with what we said we were going to do, even when we face a little adversity? And that maybe was where my biggest disappointment was. So just talk to him a little bit about, are we going to be who we said we were going to be a week or two ago, or not? Or are we only going to do it when things are going well. And I kind of asked them, like, what would you call somebody that only, and they gave me the correct answer, call them a front runner. Nobody wants to be a front runner in life, for sure, as a competitor in basketball. So we gotta get these guys to compete hard. And then I referenced the run last year, because if we go back to last year's second round game against Grand Canyon, things were not going well for large parts of that game. Midway through the second half, it did not look like we were going to win. And then we flipped it, and Mo Diabate was a big part of that. And he made a bunch of tough plays, and we fought through some adversity and some tough play, and we won second round and then beat Carolina, and things didn't go great that whole game either. At halftime of the Clemson game, we hadn't been playing our best basketball either, but they were hitting some tough shots and we were missing some open ones. Well, we just stuck with it, and next thing you knew, we were in the first Final Four in school history. Well, we've got to get that back, and we've got enough guys that were on last year's team that have that we need to get them back with that mindset going in this tournament.
Two more, Scott.
Hey, Nate. I thought you guys were engaged defensively. To your point, take away the second half of Florida, obviously, but the last few games you've been engaged defensively, you've been switching well offensively. What do you feel good about going into this thing? What are you kind of concerned with? And then you just kind of referenced, what do you call upon from last year? And I'm kind of curious, because you can sit there and, as you know, tell them all this stuff all the time, but it would be great to come from Nelson, Sears, and those guys too, right? Internally, what happened last year in the tournament that you could carry over and try to make a run this time? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. It would be, it'd be great if, Sears, Nelson, like you said, maybe Diabate, shoot, even Reitzel, who's on the team this year, is not able to play, but played last year. Some of these guys that contributed, to last year's run, if they were able to kind of reference that, I agree, it'd be good. Some of the stuff we've been doing well, I think our defense is getting significantly better. We just have to keep doing it, even if some guys hit tough shots. I mean, the one possession I've got in my head right now is when Sears did a really good job on Hoff in the post, and then he ended up getting switched on to one of their more perimeter players and did a great job in the post on him. Yeah, he played a great defensive possession. The kid hits a tough turnaround, on the baseline from 10, 12 feet. Like, who cares? You played great. They hit a tough shot. We move on. Like, just keep playing great defense, and I thought Sears was making a lot of really good reads. Teammates missed some open shots. Who cares? We got him great shots. Let's keep getting great shots. Let's just make sure we get on the old boards every time and just keep playing hard. So I think we got to get, take the positives of what we're doing and just reiterate and keep reminding ourselves we're going to keep doing it no matter what the outcome of that one possession is. And if you just do it over the course of 80 possessions on both sides of the ball through the course of the whole 40 minutes, the final score will take care of itself. But you can't let, the result of one possession, even though we played great, whether it's a missed shot on offense, they hit a tough shot on defense, affect your energy, your effort, any of that stuff for the whole 40 minutes. That's just, it's gotta be where we go, because we put together some really good games. We had Tennessee beat on the road. We beat Auburn on the road. Florida, we were up in the second half both times we played them. And we just, and they make tough shots. They're good. You got to keep doing it for the whole 40 minutes. You can't do it for 22, 32, whatever it was in each game. We got to do it for 40.
Last one, Katie.
You kind of referenced it in the last two, but last night you said that it's going to have to be a player-led thing about how much effort they want to give in these games. Do you see that in these guys, that there's that want to there, something that it can be a player-led thing that y'all can't kind of force on them?
I think they're more than capable of it. Chris Youngblood's outspoken, competitive. Mark's definitely done it at times and is more than capable of doing it. Grant and Cliff are both great guys that have toughness in them. I mean, you saw Grant. I mean, Grant's shown up big in every big game he's had pretty much his entire career here. Cliff's done it at a high level in the Big Ten and now here. particular games. They've all shown they can do it. We've also got, younger guys. Well, Barron's got all kinds of energy and he's got a lot of charisma about him. So, they're gonna have to come together. I mean, this is their team. This is it. At the end of this, those four fifth-year seniors I listed off, their last loss will be their last game. So how bad do they want to keep playing together? How bad do they want to keep their college basketball career going? If they want it bad enough, they're going to lead the team the way they need to be led. And if we do that, we're as good as anybody in the country when you put it together for 40 minutes.